Hey everybody, let's make some hot cocoa bombs. Super easy, super fun to do with the kids. As always, remember the ingredients can be found in the description box below. I use both the dark melting wafers and some classic white chips. Use what you can find. If you can only find chocolate chips, then use the chocolate chips. If you can find melting wafers, great, use those. But I don't want you going from store to store to try to find the perfect chocolate to use. Anything you can find will be just fine, trust me. To melt your chocolate, you can use either a double boiler or you can use the microwave. I prefer the double boiler method just because I can get really good control and see what's going on. If you have to use the microwave, it's fine, it's okay. Just make sure that you do not burn your chocolate. The easiest way to do that is to microwave 15 seconds at a time. Once you take it out after 15 seconds, give it a mix and then put it right back in the microwave until the chocolate is melted. Now let's get into this silicone mold. I found this on Amazon and it was actually pretty expensive. I was surprised at the cost. I think I got 2 of them for about $25. That's probably the holiday markup because we all are so pressed to do these hot cocoa bombs. So they got me, they're gonna get you too. You can just search for hot cocoa, hot chocolate bombs on Amazon and you would find plenty of these. So next what I'm doing is taking a tablespoon of the chocolate and I am adding it into each of the individual mold shapes. And I want to make sure that I spread it around great, that I get the corners very well. I do not want to leave any part of the inside of the mold like bare. So you really want to make sure that you get it in really good. It's super easy to do this with a spoon. I've seen some people do it with a pastry brush, but I like the roundness of the tablespoon the best. Now I'm just going to swirl it around just to make sure that I have everything covered. I missed the spot. And I'm going to put it in the fridge for about 5 minutes until it sets. I'm going to do the same thing with my white chocolate because I want a variety. Like, who just wants dark chocolate? White chocolate is great too. I mean, if you have the palate for it, but I love the combination of white chocolate and dark chocolate together. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Make sure it is nice and, covering all of the outside. And I'm going to take this bad boy and put it in the fridge too for about 5 minutes. And this is what it looks like when it comes out. The great thing about this mold is that it's very easy to get the chocolate out. You might notice a little bit of cracking along the way. That's fine. Honestly, my chocolate was a little old. That wasn't new chocolate that I showed you guys earlier. I had that chocolate for about a year. Hey, it's fine. I'm not going to throw away any food. So mine is a little more cracky than yours might be if you buy fresh chocolate. But no worries, because I'm going to show you how to fix that later on, even if your chocolate comes out just a little cracky at the top. You might want to put on gloves during this part of the process because if your fingers are a little greasy, you might have a little bit of fingerprints on your bombs. So you might just want to put on some gloves. Grab yourself a skillet and heat it on a really super low temperature. And take the bottom, what would be the bottom of your cocoa bomb, and go ahead and just rub it around in the skillet just until you get those edges to not be as crackly. This is what's going to help the top stick to the bottom. But right now, we're only going to do this to the bottoms of our cocoa bombs. So you see how I have the cocoa bomb on your furthest right is not cracky? That's the one that I used in the skillet, okay? I took about 1 tablespoon of some instant hot chocolate mix and filled up one of my bombs along with about 1/4 cup of marshmallow. You can really make this your own. You can put whatever toppings you want in it. I'm also going to add in some peppermint. You could add some caramel if you want. I've seen some people add Oreo cookies. I've seen some people put caramel in theirs. You can really explore and try some new things, you know. It'll be really fun for the kids if they want to add in like sprinkles or something kind of crazy. Next, I'm going to take this top and I'm going to put it over my heat, very low heat, just to slightly melt that part so I can get it to adhere to the bottom. Now, you might notice that yours might not be fully closed, and that's okay. It will stick together. But if you want to take your finger and dip it into some melted chocolate and just kind of go around to reseal, you can definitely do that. But I'm just making these for my kids. I'm not selling these or anything, so they don't have to be 100% perfect. If you are selling them, then yeah, you definitely want a more polished look. Do y'all hear my kids screaming in the background? I'm so sorry. But I'm gonna need something strong for my next few cocoa bombs. So I'm bringing out the Reserve Blend Jamaican rum, and I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons, maybe about 2 tablespoons. That's kind of equivalent to a shot glass, to 1 tablespoon of my cocoa. I need a break. Y'all, I need a break. I'm about to get one, so this is gonna have to be it for me, just to take me to another place for a few minutes. But you just want to mix that together, and it's not gonna be too liquidy to place into a bomb. It's gonna be perfect because you really want it to break down when it hits that milk. Okay, if you want to add in some more cocoa, you can for a more chocolatey feel, but it's totally up to you. You can swap out any kind of alcohol you want. Red wine might work pretty good too. I would imagine that Kahlua would taste pretty good as well. So you definitely can make this your own, and you can experiment as much as you want to. Y'all, I might have to take me a little shot even before this bomb is finished. Pray my strength in the Lord for those of you who are believers. If you're not a believer, don't pray for me though, because I don't know who you're praying to. Don't pray for me if you're not a believer. All right, so now that I have my nice adult mixture in here, I'm still going to add in some marshmallows. I just really like the creaminess that the marshmallows give this drink. So I think I put marshmallows in all of my bombs. But of course, like I say, you can make it your own. You can put in exactly whatever you want to. I'm taking the top of this cocoa bomb and I'm going to put it over that low heat that I mentioned before. I just want to get it slightly melted, and I'm going to make sure that it sticks to the rest of the cocoa bomb. Remember, like I said, you could take some melted chocolate if you want, put it on your finger or put it on a pastry brush and just brush or close the edges around if you want to, but I'm not doing all that. I think this is fine. It's perfect. Now, you see my chocolate ones definitely have some extraness going on around the tops. So I'm going to slightly melt a couple of these as well. This, what you see here, is going to be 2 cocoa bombs. I only want to melt the bottom of each cocoa bomb right now. You don't want to melt the tops until after you've put in all your ingredients inside the bomb. Now look at that. Perfect, right? So do not fret if your bombs don't come out of the mold perfectly, because you really can get rid of that extraness. Super easy, super easy. Repeat the same steps that we did for the white chocolate with this dark chocolate. Don't forget your drinky drink because it is super important, honey. I'm going to add in some more marshmallows and level off these tops so they can seal nice and perfectly onto the bottoms of these bombs. I really like the way that the dark chocolate turned out. And that could be because I used the wafers and not the chips for those. Just an FYI. Next, I'm going to use these sandwich bags just to put my melted chocolate in, just for my design. Puncture some holes just in the corner, very small, tiny holes, so your chocolate can seep through and you can make some pretty designs. It's super important to know that when you're piping your chocolate through, make sure that the chocolate in this baggie or your piping bag is not too warm. If it's too warm, then it's going to destroy your cocoa bomb. It's going to make it melt. So you want it to be warm enough to come out nice and neatly, but you have to find that good spot because you do not want it to melt the bomb. Now see how I'm going around the sides? This is where my cocoa bomb was just a little loose. You can seal it just like that. Now here's where you have fun. I love pearls and sprinkles, and if the kids are helping you, they can use colored sprinkles.